Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies, how the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. 1 in 4 healthcare dollars in the U.S. are spent on diabetes and diabetes-related complications. And what's more, only 1 in 3 Americans with type 1 diabetes uses a pump, and that number really hasn't changed much in the past 15 years. Modular Medical has a large portfolio of patented technology that makes insulin pumps easy to learn, use, and afford. And with me is the CEO, Jeb Besser, to explain what you've got here and what problem are you solving in the diabetes world.
So the problem we're solving in the diabetes world is that pumps are better care. If you have a pump on, it gives you that slow basal drip for 50% of your insulin and the ability to push a button to bolus yourself around a meal, which we know makes bolusing around a meal much more frequent and more predictable. However, most people are still using needles and syringes 30 years after pumps were introduced. And the reason is that the current pumps are very complex, very costly, and very cumbersome. And so we've tried to design a pump that will solve all 3 of those problems for as many people as possible. Not if you're using your current pump and you're happy with it, that's great, you're getting great care. But current pumps require an average of 30 to 60 minutes a day to manage. And most people are not willing to do that. And that's what we have to do, is to make it easier for these devices to be learned and to be managed on a daily basis. So I think there's a big greenfield opportunity for us that doesn't involve going out and trying to compete with the big 3 who are doing $1 billion in revenue each, and doesn't involve a massive sales force. There are actually only about 200 nurse diabetes educator practices in the US who teach people how to use pumps that are high volume. And so we would target those with a small direct sales force, and we'd probably initially use distributors to try and reach out to all the other doctors who aren't writing a pump. I mean, it's kind of incredible, but 30 years after pumps were introduced, there are only 4,000 endocrinologists who see patients in the US, and only 1,500 have ever written a pump.
You get in a comfort zone, and but a new product can shake things up. So
well, it's a lot of work to try and teach someone how to use one of the current pumps. It's multiple days of in-person instruction.
All right.
Which is why they usually put the burden on the manufacturer to teach you how to use them.
Got it. Well, best of luck, and keep us posted on as you start to take this out to the marketplace.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
There are over 83 million dogs and 50 million cats in the U.S. Up to 80% of senior cats and dogs can suffer from osteoarthritis. Spring is helping treat them and is now available in all 50 states and over 800 veterinarian clinics. Learn more at newtothestreet.com. Pet Vivo, a publicly traded company, ticker symbol PETV.
Is your garden struggling to stay hydrated? Meet Waterless Garden, the organic solution that saves water and boosts your garden's health. Packed with humus materials and trillions of beneficial microbes, Waterless Garden improves soil structure and increases water retention. Use less water, get better results, and watch your garden thrive. Waterless Garden. Less water, more life.
Acurx Pharmaceuticals is a publicly held clinical stage biopharmaceutical company developing a new class of antibiotics for infections caused by bacteria listed as priority pathogens by the World Health Organization, the CDC, and also the FDA. And with me is CEO David Lucci. Great to have you back here. And it's been a few months since we talked, so bring me up to date on where the clinical trials are going and what's been happening at Acurx.
Great to be with you, Jane, and glad to be back at the NASDAQ as always. So where we are today and have been working for the past few months dutifully is on partnerships, grants, M&A activity, financing activity, basically putting together a multi-step approach to financing our phase 3 trials.
And this is for the C. diff.
This is for the C. diff
Okay.
program, and also for the second program, which we'll talk about now, is not just MRSA, now it includes anthrax.
Okay.
So we're going to be putting funding together, resource together for all of that. The primary objective is to get our lead antibiotic going into phase 3 through the phase 3 trials as promptly as we can, to get the drug to market as promptly as we can, while doing it as non-dilutively as we can for our shareholders' benefit.
So when do you think that might, say in a perfect world, that timetable? What would that be?
So I think in 2025, in the first quarter, we'll be starting enrollment in the first phase 3 clinical trial of the two that are required. I think it'll be a couple of years in phase 3. I don't mind the time that takes prior to filing for approval, because in those couple of years, we'll be able to get our second antibiotic candidate, ACX 375, into clinical trials for MRSA with label extension to anthrax. So I think at that point, we will be in a really good position 2 years from now. So in terms of when you think about grant funding for antimicrobial resistance, I mean, what leadership would it show if Staten Island would be able to say that we sponsored the first new class of antibiotics to fight antimicrobial resistance, and the first one to be approved in 35 years.
Yeah.
And that's where we could be in the near future.
Okay. Well, I hope you come back in the first quarter, say,
I would love
next
to.
year, and bring us up to date on all these interesting things you have going on.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Jane.
David.
There are over 83 million dogs and 50 million cats in the U.S. Up to 80% of senior cats and dogs can suffer from osteoarthritis. Spring is helping treat them and is now available in all 50 states and over 800 veterinarian clinics. Learn more at newtothestreet.com. Pet Vivo, a publicly traded company, ticker symbol PETV.
Is your garden struggling to stay hydrated? Meet Waterless Garden, the organic solution that saves water and boosts your garden's health. Packed with humus materials and trillions of beneficial microbes, Waterless Garden improves soil structure and increases water retention. Use less water, get better results, and watch your garden thrive. Waterless Garden. Less water, more life.
LightPath Technologies, a NASDAQ-listed company, provides innovative optical components and assemblies. The company recently announced a deal with Lockheed Martin, which could be a game changer. And with me is the CEO, Sam Rubin. Welcome, Sam, and let's hear about this Lockheed Martin project. This sounds like could be the biggest opportunity that LightPath has had. Explain what it is and why is it so meaningful?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jane. Appreciate the time and being here. This project is transformative for the company in more ways than one. I mean, first of all, strategically, 4 years ago when I joined, we set a new course of becoming more vertically integrated solutions providers. So going from selling lenses for $5, $10, $50 to selling assemblies and selling cameras for thousands of dollars, right? And that's very transformative to the company. Of course, 4 years ago, it was just a vision. This project with Lockheed Martin, in which we're developing a camera that goes into a next generation missile, is exactly the kind of projects we were dreaming of 4 years ago when we set this strategy. So now LightPath is designing, and soon to be producing a camera system to go into a missile that's going to sell for about $5,000 to $10,000 per missile. With 10,000 missiles a year expected in production, we're talking about $50 to $100 million of revenue, which makes it why it is so transformative to us. Not only is this really our new strategy and where we want to go, products for thousands of dollars instead of tens of dollars, it is also for a company currently doing $35 million in revenue a year. adding another 50 to $100 million is transformative. This is doubling, quadrupling the size of the company. Now, this project is a very fast track project simply because the Army is running out of Stinger missiles and needs new missiles. And so what usually might take 4 to 5 years is being condensed into 2 to 3 years of development. We recently finished the first year of development and hit a major milestone of achieving flight worthiness criteria for our cameras, meaning we are now working on building and shipping cameras that are actually going to go into the first missiles. They're actually going to fly out. So we did all of that in a year, something that usually would take 2 to 3 years to achieve. This is the development project is a $7.5 million project by itself that already we got $4.5 million of and more to come in the next phase. But really the big deal is going to be about a year from today, September 2025, when they start actually doing a shoot-off between Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, at which point the Army might already choose a winner. If the Army chooses Lockheed Martin as a winner, we are the sole source of this camera system. We're talking about an initial order of possibly 11,000 missiles with, again, $5,000 to $10,000 per missile. So we're talking about a year from now, potentially getting the first order that could be $55 to $110 million for the first order. And again, for a company today doing $35 million.
Yeah.
True transformation.
No, absolutely. And a chance to prove your concept and perhaps lead to other businesses as well. So congratulations on that. Now, I understand you have 3 pillars of growth. So you've got, projects like the Lockheed Martin. What are some other areas you're looking?
Yeah, definitely. So with the transformation, with the shift in strategy from the components, lenses, all the way to assemblies and cameras, come a whole new slew of opportunities. And that really generates for us, if you would, 3 drivers of growth that are completely independent from one another. One of them is doing cameras and projects like the Lockheed Martin. A second one is the automotive. The NHTSA and the Department of Transportation, Institute of Highway Safety, announced a mandatory rule requiring all new cars starting in 2029 to have automatic emergency braking systems that can identify a pedestrian in pitch dark conditions.
Some of these projects being able to tell. So what's your strategy next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a very satisfying time right now. All the hard work of the team for the last 4 years is now resulting in real deliverables and in real revenue. We expect in 2025 to see a massive growth in our camera revenue. Today, the new revenue of where we're going in terms of solutions is already 20 to 30%. We expect it to become, in the next few years, a dominant part. In 2 to 3 years, it should be 70% of our revenue. Later in 2025, we expect to hit the next milestone with the Lockheed Martin project, which would bring the next follow-up order for that. We have a new project in the works, the Apache project, which is another airborne system, also possibly tens of millions of dollars of revenue. So we're starting to see some big chunks of opportunities coming through, and we expect to be able to share that with our shareholders and stakeholders in coming months.
Okay, well, I look forward to getting updates and interviews with you as some of these projects come online next year. So
same here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the update. Appreciate it. And congratulations on your success.
Excellent. Thank you, Jade.
Thanks.
There are over 83 million dogs and 50 million cats in the U.S. Up to 80% of senior cats and dogs can suffer from osteoarthritis. Spring is helping treat them and is now available in all 50 states and over 800 veterinarian clinics. Learn more at newtothestreet.com. Pet Vivo, a publicly traded company, ticker symbol PETV.
Is your garden struggling to stay hydrated? Meet Waterless Garden, the organic solution that saves water and boosts your garden's health. Packed with humus materials and trillions of beneficial microbes, Waterless Garden improves soil structure and increases water retention. Use less water, get better results, and watch your garden thrive. Waterless Garden. Less water, more life.
Andy Monet is a business optimization expert. She helps business owners move from fear and confusion to clarity and confidence about making strategic business decisions. And with us is Andy Monet, of course. Welcome, and David Fagan, who will be hosting with me today. And so, Andy, I'll just start. You work with Fortune 500, Inc. 500 companies to improve their bottom line.
Yes.
What kind of challenges would you say these companies are facing right now?
You know, every time there's an economic development, they always have challenges, whether it was COVID or now we're trying to figure out how do they or should they not allow people to work from home, and what does that mean for the bottom line, of course. So there's always something in the works. Right now, it's now the politics and what president would be best, but there's always something.
Always challenges in business.
Always
yeah.
challenges.
That makes it interesting.
So what are you providing in terms of solutions? Because right now, that's what they're really bringing you in for here is bottom line, they want results. And is there a more popular solution right now than anything else?
I can tell you what's not popular,
Okay.
which is what I do.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people think, of course, the common misconception, or I shouldn't say misconception, but the common belief is increase marketing costs, decrease labor costs, and you'll be fine.
Yes.
And obviously those work, right?
Yeah.
But what I bring to the table is something completely different, which is make your employees happy, streamline your operations, improve your financial management, and increase your sales conversion, all without actually increasing costs and without increasing labor.
Yeah.
And that's why they bring me in.
Yeah. You're very passionate about small business, clearly. I mean, why do you bring that to the table?
It's more than making money. For me, it's how do you improve people's lives? How do you improve their communities? How do you improve the economy?
Mm-hmm.
How do you change your life for yourself and your future generations? Do you send your kids to college having good health care? Like, these things cost money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the money why I help people. It's what we're going to do with it to make the world a better place. Yeah. And I get really emotional about this because I think that we can all make a difference. Yeah. And this is just one of the ways that I know that I can make a difference.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of financial leaders, CEOs, business owners watching this right now. If you could only give them one piece of advice, like only one thing that they could do, between now and the end of the year, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Just one? I'd say you can have everything you want if you go beyond the numbers.
Okay. Go beyond the numbers.
You just have to be open and confident and secure, and know that when I take care of my employees and my company, the money is just going to come.
It's interesting. Don't be limited by the numbers.
Right. It is very limiting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. I get it. Well, Andy, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
hearing your
Thrilled to be
perspective on
here.
it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Is your garden struggling to stay hydrated? Meet Waterless Garden, the organic solution that saves water and boosts your garden's health. Packed with humus materials and trillions of beneficial microbes, Waterless Garden improves soil structure and increases water retention. Use less water, get better results, and watch your garden thrive. Waterless Garden. Less water, more life.
Okay, I finally got in. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to back over here and turn this camera around just a little bit and let y'all see just from a distance. I have not been in here messing with these at all. I've not watered either one of these. I've got one side that planted in regular Twin Eagle dirt and humus soil mixed in. I've got another side that's planted totally in Twin Eagle dirt. Now, I watered those that was planted in Twin Eagle dirt, but it's been a week. It's been a week. So let's take a look at these, see what we got. Okay, this is nothing short of astonishing right here. These are the 4 plants, and they don't look tremendous, but these are the 4 plants in humus soil right here. Take a look at these plants. They've been in there a week. You can see some little dead out there on the end of that one. They've been in here a week. Nothing but humus soil. There's been no water added to it whatsoever. And you can see what these plants look like.
That's a really nice thing about Sustainable Green Team and its products, that they're chemical free. They're sustainable, and the biologics that we use and how we're restoring what has been broken, we're really in the restoration business.
Right.
So you have a healthy soil, you have healthy plants, healthy animals, healthy people. That sets up for a pretty good successful life, to have healthy lifestyle and really sustainable.
I'm kind of wondering, Tony, and maybe this is a little far-fetched, but I'm kind of wondering if what we're doing might be putting a little smile on God's heart.
I think so.
I think it might be. These guys here are really hurting. I think I could actually just add humus oil to the top of this. And probably what I'll do is we'll see what happens when I come back. If these guys are still alive, which I think they will be after we add this water right here. You can see that ground is drinking that water big time.
Turn in next week for part 3. We will have more conversations with Jimmy Houston, America's favorite fisherman. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on these social media platforms. America's favorite fisherman, Jimmy Houston, and the Sustainable Green Team are joining forces to tackle environmental issues like carbon loss, dead soils, and the overuse of fertilizers with Waterless Garden. This partnership is revolutionizing the global fertilizer industry, transforming agriculture and enhancing food security for future generations. SGTM and Jimmy Houston, working together for a sustainable future.
Your data is vulnerable to hackers, with email being the cause of 91% of all cyber attacks. Introducing secure, Swiss-hosted, data-mine-free, private and secure solutions to protect your communications. Secure Mail offers secure and private email communication. Secure Messenger offers private and secure chats. Secure VPN encrypts your internet traffic and protects your digital identity. Regain your privacy today. Visit Secure at secure.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry with Alain Guy, the CEO of Secure. All right, our weekly hack is an alarming case. A UK man exploited genealogy data to hack into the emails of top executives. How did he gain access to all of the sensitive accounts? And then he manipulated the stock market, causing shockwaves in both business and the tech community. So, Alain, break this down and talk about how this case demonstrates the risks of sharing personal information from a place like a genealogy site, someplace that all of us use, including myself. What precautions can we take so this doesn't happen to us?
Yes, there was a very famous U.S. one that got hacked. I forgot when. We talked about it. We have it on our show. But essentially, when you put your DNA and you go genealogy and things like that, you're basically giving yourself full information, who you are, what you do, sometime a piece of your DNA. And what this guy did, which is kind of smart in a malicious way, he basically went and hacked the database, which is not hard to do, as we know from episodes when you have passwords, stored in plain text and whatnot. These big tech companies don't really care that much about your privacy. And a lot of these sites use third-party hosting too. So, sometimes they just don't know. So what happened is this person went, filtered all the executives of publicly traded companies, hacked their email. That's also something not hard to do, as we know, unless you have a BEC countermeasure like we do at Secure, and essentially was reading their mail. So if I'm the publicly traded company, we're signing a deal, I don't know, with AT&T in a week, this guy's going to buy my shares, and then when the deal is announced, the share goes up, he makes a profit and sells. It's as simple as that. It's kind of an ingenious, malefic way to do it. This is what we used to call way back a few years ago. I had an episode where I talked about how China is stealing deal data in Canada's data centers because there was a lot of deal in commodities, oil, mining, etc., which Canada is famous for. And the Chinese were hacking all these data centers to find out which company Rio Tinto is buying what, etc. So, Yeah, that's pretty intense, and I'm sure he's not the only one doing that. I'm sure a lot of people got the idea too to hack executives to try to see what's the next move in their public company.
Yeah, it sounds like a great plot for a script for Oceans 13, 14, 15. It's unbelievable that that happened. So what are some steps that we can take to mitigate that happening from us everyday people as well as business email?
Well, I'm going to be a little bit biased here. You have to use an off-grid system because anything big tech now, it's just compromised on a daily basis. We offer that at Secure with our Secure Send, Secure Reply feature. By the way, the SEC has new regulation that forces public companies to disclose when they have been compromised. So that's also public companies need to look at Secure and maybe adopt our email system at the very least. You can split, you can have only executives use it and everybody else using your Outlook or whatever you use. So I recommend using Secure for many reasons. We have our own infrastructure, our own proprietary code. We host only in Switzerland. We don't data mine or location mine you. And we protect your data and your communication round trip. When you send to a client or when the client replies back to you, even if they don't have Secure, it is protected in our technology. We have the same for Messenger as well. We also offer a VPN, which I would recommend people to install on their phone because it does encrypt your data higher. And our VPN only gives you Swiss IP address from our own infrastructure as opposed to subbing to one of these other cloud companies that we don't know what they do with your data.
Swiss hosted and Swiss secured. So talk about the privacy code that we have for today.
Yes, we offer a 15% discount on all solutions for 5 years. Put promo code privacy, go to secure.com, SEKUR.com, put the code and enjoy. We offer a 7-day free trial, and after that, your credit card gets charged.
It's all about what your privacy is worth, and it has arrived with Secure. So thank you so much for the weekly hack topic. We look forward to covering another one next week.
Thanks everyone for watching.